Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Ask the Accountant, your weekly update of all the latest goings on in the accounting and bookkeeping world. As always, joining me today is my co-host, Mr. Aaron Patrick. Aaron, how was your weekend?
Yeah, weekend was good actually. It was a nice, calmer weekend than we've had. Trying to keep up with work, and Formula One was there, so it's always good when Formula One's on, right? Even if it was the fastest game of chess that we've ever seen, and probably the. What game of chess have you ever seen where it starts and the same 10 pieces are at the same position at the end? So, I don't know.
I know, right?
But it was a good result. I loved seeing Leclerc up front, so that's cool. And win his home Grand Prix.
Our favourite McLaren did very well.
Exactly. And Max was all upset, and Mardy and chucked his.
That's always a bonus.
Well, what can we want, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been a good weekend. I've got another busy week coming up, but yeah, that's what it's all about, isn't it? We've just got to crack on at the moment on the business, as people keep telling me. I've got to work on the business, not in
work on the business, not in the business.
Yeah. What about yourself, Jan? How was it?
Business.
How was your weekend?
Work on the business.
Yeah. How was your weekend? And more importantly, has the robot taken over yet?
No, the robot is doing a very good job at keeping the lawn down. I'm very happy with the lawnmower robot. It's done very well in the first week. And I had a good weekend. I mean, I don't know about you, but the weather up here has been horrific for the last 4 days. So it's just been like you get out and enjoy the weather while you can, and it's been horrific. So I think we've had maybe 6 hours of dry weather in 4 days. My wife left work at 5 o'clock on Wednesday night. It's normally a 25 to 35 minute drive. She got home at 9:45 because the motorway was flooded.
Ouch.
So, and yeah, basically Scotland's had a month's worth of rain in 24 hours last week. So it's a bit damp around here, bit damp. But yeah, no, good weekend. Got a few bits done. Watched the race. It's not a race, is it? It's a parade. Like there was more overtaking in the Edinburgh Marathon this weekend than there was in that race. But yeah, chilled weekend, busy week ahead, lots going on as always. So I believe
before we move on though.
Go on.
James Ashford, he got a robotic lawnmower as well, and he's put it all over LinkedIn.
Don't associate me with him.
AI was going to take. AI. The robots were like automation. Was the future. Within 24 hours, he put another post up saying that robot was on its way back to China. So just wondering how well yours has gone in comparison, because apparently in his words, his had chewed up some of his flowers, like made a mess of his garden anyway, and then almost killed his dog. So what a great start.
So mine's been absolutely fine. The difference between mine and James, I imagine, is about 5 to 10 grand worth of money. Like he would have brought this top high end one where he didn't need to put Barrett. So yeah, like with AI mapping technology and stuff. Mine, I had to put in. The guy that installed it had to put in, like an electric cable into the lawn, so it goes right around the edges and then through the middle, so it bounces off that basically. So it can't chew up my flower beds, etc. And the sensible in us, you schedule it, don't you? You schedule it for when the dog's in bed and asleep. So at night time.
But the dog doesn't get upset that there's something going on in the garden, and
no, it's too quiet.
Fair play.
You don't know. So yeah, no, bit of common sense, really. Common sense says you tell it it's got a programmer, tell it to go and do it when there's no one outside.
Yeah, fair play. Well, there we are. We'll come back to garden chat next week. Don't you worry.
Garden watch will return. Oh dear. Right. Okay. Well, for starters, let's say hello to Kirsty, who's joined us on a bank holiday weekend. We always know these ones are a bit quieter. We do have Peter from Insolvency on Instagram. NC Accounting has also joined us on Instagram. So welcome to you guys. Is there anyone on your Instagram channel?
Yeah, I've got 2 people, so yeah, it's good. Hello.
Okay. It's always a quiet one on bank holidays. But it's weird. Scotland had their bank holiday last Monday that no one
Did they?
seemed to observe apart from the buses. And then we've got a bank holiday in England today, which some people up here observe, some people don't. It's all a bit odd. Scottish bank holidays are always confusing. But yeah. Okay, so let's get into the good stuff. The news that isn't just about my garden and people spending too much money on lawnmowers and not using common sense to tell it to work at night. I mean, come on. Okay, so first bit of news. Aaron, the Xero results are out. Financial news today, brought to you by me, is the Xero results are out, and they're all looking good. I mean, we can all make bar charts look good, can't we? Yeah, this year we'll include this. Next year we won't, because that won't help.
Was this done by Jax? Do we know?
I don't know. They didn't state anything about AI generated. There may have been some hallucinations in there. Who knows?
Can Jax now do images as well? Make me a really good bar chart.
But the bit that stood out to me was so that their subscriptions have grown by 11% year on year.
Is that numbers or price though?
Well, there's a good question. I think it's number of subscriptions.
Oh, numbers. Okay, fair play. That's positive.
And then they've now got over 1 million subscriptions in the UK, which is impressive. They've over 1 million. However, they've cited the reason that they didn't hit their subscription growth target, because 11% was underachieving for what they set a target, was because they didn't have a XeroCon 2023.
They weren't going to have a XeroCon 2024 either.
Well, I mean, that's why they're now having one, because they realized they can't sell the product without it. I mean, anyone in the comments, when did you last go to a XeroCon or a QuickBooks event and walk away having signed up to more subscriptions? Yeah. Or cited those events as the reason you've taken out more subscriptions at some point in the year? I've taken out another 50 subscriptions because of the event. No, it's because you've grown your business. Like, yeah, I just absolute rubbish excuse. We didn't have a XeroCon party, so I've not hit my target. Like, nothing to do with the lack of updates and feature improvements. Nothing to do with that whatsoever.
How do you know they had 50 updates last week? 50. I
If
mean,
it
the
wasn't
video was
for those
2.5
Google
minutes long,
fonts,
but they had 50 updates. Which I don't know. I can't
Google
understand how
fonts,
you can put 50 updates in a 2.5 minute video, but you know.
and we should know because we try.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for those Google fonts, 8% growth. Wouldn't have even got anywhere over double figures. But yes, so Xero results are out. They continue to grow. They continue to do well in the UK. I mean, I think I'd be more interested to know how they're getting on in America, because that's where they're meant to be spending a lot of money to try and break into that market properly. And I don't think they're going to be getting any real results for it. Even with XeroCon being in America, I don't think it worked, but I could be wrong. So yeah, okay, so that's Xero results. Any thoughts, Aaron?
Did they mention what they're going to spend this extra 11% on? Is it on R&D? That's what they said in their last one, didn't they? Or...
I heard Google Fonts licenses were going up, so they're going to have to spend it on that. But yeah, so who knows?
I mean, they still have some competitive features that, like QuickBooks and Sage and Free Agent don't have, don't they? They've still got some bits that they can hold up to. So it's just
that gap's narrowing, because Sage have got their answer to ledgers, QuickBooks have got their answer to ledgers. That gap is narrowing now.
So the only one, I think Clive mentioned it the other day. So Clive, over one of our listeners, one of the features he loves about Xero and would love to see come over is the whole statements and the fact that you can have links to an invoice on a statement. I mean, it seems obvious, right? But that's a really cool feature that thing. And they've always had that advantage. If you have 2 Xero clients and you send an invoice to one another, it just works. Like, yeah. But other than that, is that all they've got left now as their competitive advantage? I think that's pretty much it, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
we're not
I'd say it is.
experts on the software. We'll use it enough to know that they're kind of really all they've got left. And both those bridges are obtainable, right? They're not bridges that can't be conquered. What then? Like, yeah, because they've always benefited by having, faster developing and quicker tech rollouts, haven't they? That's what they were known for their growth. So yeah.
Yeah, they used to be very fast moving, but
11% seems quite generous for saying that they've not really innovated that much.
I think for the lack of innovation, they've actually done quite well.
Fair play to them.
So yeah, that's it. Although your local bookkeeper on Instagram has said you can't send statements automatically though from Xero.
Really?
Whereas you can in QuickBooks.
That's interesting. I didn't know that one. Okay, all right. Well, there we are.
Thank you, your local bookkeeper.
Oh, that serves me right then, doesn't it, for making AI do my recertification for Xero.
Yeah, if you hadn't used AI to pass your certification, you'd have known that.
Yeah. And just as we always have to say, that's a disclaimer that no one else should ever use AI to do them. Mine was a scientific experiment to see what
purely research and development purposes only.
Everyone else never touch AI to do your research.
Yes. Some would say it's cheating. Others would say it's initiative. But yeah, I mean,
we've got jam-packed full of news to go through here.
Oh, right. Anyway, moving on from Xero results, Translucent have released their pricing, I believe. So Translucent, a fairly new kid on the block. We've been waiting to hear pricing from them, and we kind of expected to have pricing really by Accountex London, but it wasn't there. And their stand was a bit sparse, big but sparse, and so yeah. So how transparent is the Translucent pricing?
Well, I'll tell you what. If you let's quickly, so everyone knows what Translucent does. Grabs all your different company accounts, especially got a group structure, brings them in. It talks to both Xero and QuickBooks, and the idea then is you can bring all that data into one central area, and you can make group accounts super simple. Like the premise of it, really clever. I know they want to look into kind of a bit of a like clean up of the books type idea, so they want to bring that into it as well, so you can see how healthy each one of those group ones are, so you can have confidence in that group structure. What would you want the pricing
to clarify here?
Go for it.
So I've got 3 businesses, a part of a group structure on different accounting softwares.
Yeah,
which seems a bit ludicrous, but anyway, he says, knowing that his is exactly like that. That feeds into Translucent, right?
Yes.
Translucent then does what it needs to do, and does that generate a set of accounts for us?
Well,
is it just tidying up and feeding and reporting?
It would generate a set of management accounts, won't we? I don't think we can't file the accounts from there,
okay.
But cool. Then that management account you could put into your accounts production software and boom.
So how much is that going to be? Well, put it this way. I know that SIF Analytics can handle that. SIF Analytics has been doing that for well over a year now.
Yeah.
At no extra cost. I could be lying there. I might need to Google this. But also, I know...
What are you paying for SIF Analytics, roughly? Just rough ballpark.
Well, that's the question. I don't know, because I think I pay like $293 a month or something for. But the bit I love about SIF Analytics is it's unlimited amount of clients and users, so I just put them all on. And life's easy. So yeah, it's a non-issue for me pricing with SIF Analytics.
Yeah, so it's not a per user. Or okay. Just while you're looking for that Translucent, what they offer is that now they offer group reporting, intercompany, group AP and AR, bookkeeping audit, and multi-entity search. Now, the reason I've said that is because I'm a little bit confused about the pricing, because it says our pricing is charged at X, and I'll talk about what that X is in a minute, per month, paid annually. But it's
I love a software that charges annually.
Yeah, exactly.
Said no one.
But it says, whilst our new per app pricing will allow you to be specific in the apps you need, our launch, so that was our launch pricing with the 65, and then there's another price point for our per app. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get the pricing. So let me tell you. Oh, you finish off with your
Hang on.
SIF one first, and I'll tell you.
So, I think I could be wrong here, but I think group reporting is included in the professional package, which is $199 a month plus VAT if you're billed monthly. And I always look at these things billed monthly, because who sits there and goes, yes, here's $4,000. I'll pay that today and have access for the rest of the year.
Exactly.
Nobody. Yeah. So I believe it's built into the professional package. So it's $199 a month for unlimited companies.
Okay. Which I think,
but I also know TaxCalc have got a new group tool that makes accounts production very easy for 60 quid per group per year.
Of course, yeah, they're new.
Now,
yeah,
with TaxCalc, you could easily run management reports off the same tool if you wanted to.
I don't think there is quite as the problem with like the likes of TaxCalc is there's a lot of manual work there, isn't there?
Yeah. And we even have Jodie from SIF Analytics listening into us this morning. Hello, Jodie. Consolidations are included, professional and up. For multi-level consolidations, you need Enterprise Plus. So Enterprise Plus is $399 a month plus VAT. Oh no, SIF's in South Africa, no VAT. I take it back, folks. So it's $399 a month.
Okay,
and that's unlimited businesses.
Fair play. That works well then.
Yeah. So, Aaron, how transparent are Translucent's pricing?
So I'm really confused here. So our prices change. So our apps will be $65 a month paid annually, but they say apps. And I believe, could be wrong here, but I believe their apps are group reporting or intercompany or group and API or bookkeeping audit or multi-entry search, I believe. Or is apps per client, maybe? Don't know. But there is, however, the introductory pricing is available until then. So until the 7th of June, meaning you can access all the existing apps for $129 a month paid annually.
Per client?
I don't know. That's what I mean.
This is not very transparent, Translucent.
Yeah. Whilst our new app pricing will allow you to be specific in the apps you need, our launch pricing still presents a significant opportunity to lock in some big savings.
I think that sounds like it's per user.
Exactly.
And I think that's going to be your first problem.
And that's why they didn't want to announce it at Accountex, right?
Because they're embarrassed.
Yeah. Well, I think at the clients they're aimed at, it's not going to be an issue, right? Like, you know, the ones they're aimed at, it's fine. But is that per entity? If it's per entity, that makes sense. If it's a group structure, 129, like that probably makes sense. Probably can work around that.
Yeah, but
confused.
Like, if I've got Enterprise Plus from SIF Analytics,
that's for your whole practice, isn't it?
That's for my whole practice. If I've got, say, I've got 4 groups and like to consolidate and stuff there, and if we're saying it's per month per group at Translucent, but we're not sure because it's not very transparent. Like, that's already SIF Analytics is already saving me money, and that's before I've put on every other client that I've got.
Yeah.
So as part of my onboarding process, if a client has got Free Agent, QuickBooks, Xero, Sage, they are automatically set up in, well, not automatic, they are set up as part of our onboarding process in SIF Analytics because it's of no cost to me, because it's not per client. So instantly, my team have got the ability to have that in-depth insight straight away. And when you're being charged per client or per entity, unless that client's already agreed to pay that, to cover that cost, you don't do it, do you?
No. Again, I do think they're aimed at bigger group entities. So I think $129 to them is a drop in the ocean, I assume, is what they're looking at. Because what they're trying to bring to the table is the fact that
an accounting firm that deals with these only needs 4 of those before SIF Analytics is cheaper and
True.
more powerful with better tools.
Very true. Very true. Yeah,
Or
I
a
mean,
broader range of tools and reporting.
yeah, I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that.
They've already outpriced themselves. Well done. I love it when these softwares come in and they don't understand the market. Like,
or do they just not care about our market? I think that might be the issue, right?
Well, no, because it's like FYI Docs have launched FYI Elite, their practice management tool in the UK.
Yeah.
£35 per user.
Which is the old accounting
Review the model of the industry. Look at who's suffering. Look at who's winning. It's the unlimited user part that's winning.
But they've still got to get that right, because even Pixie don't have that right.
No, but that Pixie was winning. Their failings came from over-promising and not delivering in feature updates.
Yeah,
I wouldn't use that. I wouldn't say the pricing structure was the issue for them. Also, they kept redoing their pricing structure, which made it inaffordable for smaller firms.
Yeah,
but the basic market research would have told FYI Docs that pricing model is not going to work in the UK. And they just don't see, they've either ignored it or they've not done their research. And the amount of softwares that come to the UK and start up and it's quite clear they haven't done their market research properly, it's quite scary. But yeah, so yeah, anyone that's looking at translucent, have a look at SIF Analytics. Far better price. I'll send Joe DeLee the check, the invoice for the check later. Just to be clear, SIF Analytics does not sponsor us. We don't get any rebates or anything from this. I just use it all day, every day in my firm, and huge fan of it. Have been for years. And I use their pricing method as a guide stick for a lot of different softwares these days. So any kind of insights, reporting tools, etc., it's the SIF Analytics tool that I'm using to give me that insight, basically, and to compare them to. Okay, moving on. This wonderful podcast is brought to you by Apron. It's one of our new sponsors. Up there, as you can see. So, as part of our commitment to Apron, we have done some filming, and we've got a little ad roll to play for you.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm here with my friends over at Apron, our new sponsor, and we've got an amazing feature that just went live. It's called Capture, and this is going to revolutionize the way you get data from your client. Watch this. Get the receipt, take the photo, bish, bash, done. That's it. This is going to be dead quick, dead straightforward, dead simple, and more importantly, it's easy for your clients to use. Did I tell you you got WhatsApp as well? What more do you want?
I still think mine's better.
We haven't seen it yet.
I filmed it. To say I walked away from that set feeling smug would be an understatement. But yeah, so thank you to Apron for sponsoring Ask the Accountant. We will be working with Apron over the coming months to bring more of their news and releases to you. Their receipt capture has just been phenomenally popular, hasn't it? I mean, It went live 2 weeks ago and just non-stop.
You mentioned about the fact that there's price points at work. They know
that's a price point that works.
Yeah, they know.
Because again, in fact, when I got the privilege of sitting on their alpha/beta testing group and feeding back to them from the very beginning, which I absolutely loved about Apron, and the fact that before they even started building anything, they just went, right, let's get a group of accountants and bookkeepers together, stick them in a WhatsApp group, and find out what we need. And I loved that. But I'm fairly sure I use SIF Analytics as an example of this is how you price. You give me one price for all inclusivity, basically. And they went, yeah, that makes sense. So they did their market research and they are thriving because of it. Apron. And next week's video will be all about bills and bill payables. So
it was so good. He's so smug. He doesn't even know what it was about.
I can't remember. The Accountex buzz is definitely wearing off now. It's been 2 weeks. I'm starting to crash. But yeah. So thank you very much to Apron for your continued support, and we look forward to working with you further. And watch this space because we've got some cool little videos coming out, giving us a bit more insight into Apron. We were in their office. Pardon?
Their story, wasn't it?
Yep. And we were in the Apron office on the day of release of the receipt capture, and it was exceptionally quiet and calm. Like, anyone think they were confident in what they've built, and they weren't worried about anything, which has obviously worked. So good on them. Cool. Okay. So
before we move on, just hello to Nick. Good morning.
Good morning, Nick. How are you? So Aaron, we're coming into the award season. We have all our conferences in February, March, April, and May. Then we have our summer holidays. Everyone goes and gets their tan, ready for the awards evenings in the autumn. And we've been invited to do some content with the #1 market leading awards night in the UK accounting and bookkeeping industry, the Accounting Excellence Awards. So why don't you tell the wonderful listeners what we've got planned? What's going on?
Yeah, so what we've got planned. So first of all, what is it? So an amazing night on October the 8th. So get that in your diary, people, at the Camden Roundhouse. What I love about that is in Camden. Camden is one of my favourite parts about London. So yeah, that's, if there's no other reason to go, it's just because you get to visit Camden. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's an opportunity there. The idea is that every single person in the accounting industry is going to be there, with over 600 of the professionals of the profession's finest. A chance to network with the best accountants and thought leaders around, dance under a disco ball until 1 a.m. with an award-winning food and a AAA comedian at host. Now, if that wasn't exciting enough, and honestly, I think that's like enough anyway to sell it to you, we're going to be there. We are now going to be one of the people to come and give you some insights into what went behind the scenes at Accounting Excellence Awards 2024.
So well.
We're going to rework our grid walk. It's not going to be a grid walk, it's going to be a table walk. So we're wandering around, interviewing people, finding out what they believe, people who are going to be up for nominations, up for awards. We're going to go around and we're going to get their insights into what they feel, what the night's brought to them. We're going to be on the red carpet as you arrive as well, so we'll be interviewing you, getting that microphone in your face, and showing gives you a chance to show off how amazing your attire is going to be for that night. What dress or suit or whatever you've decided to use. Yeah, exactly. And also we're going to hopefully get an opportunity to grab some of the winners on the night as well, give a quick interview to them, let them bask in their glory. Let's listen to what hard work they did to get that award and their process and everything else that went with it. So we're really excited to be involved in it, really excited to have the opportunity. And speaking of outfits, we can't say too much, but we have a big plan for our outfits as well, which, it won't be as glamorous as everyone else's, but I think it'll have some talking points.
You see, I think we're going to put all of those celebrities that turn up in these weird and wonderful outfits at the Oscars to shame. I think we're going to show up, and I think we're going to nail it.
We'll definitely have conversation topics. Will there be the right conversation topics? We shall see. But yeah, and we've also been invited to be judges on as well. So we are so excited for this one, aren't we?
Rather honoured to be a judge at the Accounting Excellence Awards, because when you look at who else is a judge and you go, I'm up amongst those people, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's completely independent judging as well. Experts from all key organisation associates you know and trust.
Yep, definitely.
And we also said it's completely free to enter the award programme, unlike some. And speaking of the awards, shall we talk about last year's awards?
Let's talk about last year's awards. So I think what we're going to do over the next 3 weeks, because you've got until the 14th of June to get your nominations in, people, and all it costs is a bit of your time to prepare your nomination. So you've got until the 14th of June. So over the next 3 weeks, we're going to break down all the key awards and cover a few each week and just explain what you're looking for here. So the first award is Small Firm of the Year. Now, Aaron, who won this last year?
put me on the spot here because I didn't have that open. So the full small firm of the year. So what I like about the firm ones is that they split them into what do you call it, regions, don't they?
Yes.
So you have the London one was won by Urban Ledgers, which I really like the name actually, Urban Ledgers. I like that. It's a quality name. The Midlands, Wales, and the East of England was won by Triple Bottom Line Accounting Limited. A small firm of the year for North of England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland was Tennick Accountants, and South of England was LKA Chartered Accountants. And then they have kind of like an overall, don't they? They call it a Grand Prix, and that one was taken home by Tennick Accountants. And I think the idea, though, even if you don't win the small firm, just being shortlisted is great recognition, isn't it? Like, think of that for your talent motivation as a team.
That's branding.
Yeah, exactly.
Shortlisted. You don't say nominated, you say shortlisted.
Yeah, exactly. Because apparently so many of the finalists report that they started conversations because of the noise around accounting excellence. So yeah, sponsored by Intuit QuickBooks again this year. So, you get that kind of, that you're going to get some nice branding and everything else. They normally look after you as well, don't they? With a bit of swag and all that sort of stuff as well.
Yep.
So, just getting yourself on that shortlist, putting yourself in there. I mean, personally, we've applied this year, means that we're against Triple Bottom Line Accounting Limited. That's a scary thought, right? That seems like I mean, they're triple bottom line accounting. They're not just double. You know what I mean? So yeah, we've got to really we've got to really think about it through. But yeah, great little lineup there. I love the fact it's regional based because that gives a real good opportunity. You against your regional peers, right? And have an opportunity to be there. So yeah, it's a great award. And I think that's going to be one of the ones that we definitely need to keep an eye on, who wins that one, because they're normally people that up and coming, ones that we want to kind of have a bit of they're the sort of people we want to invite on. We have cool friends, right? Because they've got some sort of story going on. There's something there. There's normally conversations. Yeah,
definitely. Speaking of up and coming, there's the next award is the New Firm of the Year award. Now, I really like this one because it highlights people that are coming into the industry 9 out of 10 times doing something a bit different, taking a different approach, different view on things. And where's our industry going to be if we don't have new firms and new people coming into the industry? So yeah, really excited by that one. Who won last year's New Firm of the Year award, Aaron?
Kennedy Accountancy, sponsored by Xero this time round. And just had a quick look at them on their website. I was hoping to see that they won the 2004 thing. I thought that was going to be fun and thing on their
website.
No, unfortunately not. They're an ISIS chartered accountants. They're a Xero silver partner. And yeah, what I do love about the website though is they've definitely pushed in for the kind of rural aspects. They definitely look to be looking at rural businesses. So yeah, no, very cool. Some people on there. They've got Karen Kennedy, owner director.
Before we go any further here, guys, if you're going to go to the effort of applying for these awards, yes, they're free. However, there is some time required to put a good application together. And even if you don't win and you're shortlisted, put it on your website, put it on your social medias,
front and center
about it. There's so much pride to have behind that you've been shortlisted, never mind won an award. Like, it's free marketing collateral. Why wouldn't you shout about it? That baffles me.
I mean, in fairness, it's a pinned post on their Instagram. So win a New Firm of the Year. So, they've got that 1 week as winners of the New Firm of the Year at the Accounting Oscars. So that sums it up, really, the Accounting Oscars, doesn't it? Got some of the official photos back. Not sure what I said to Tom Allen that was so shocking to put those on the face, but yeah, she's got a photo of her looking very shocked and going through there. And do take an opportunity to look at some of the photos that are out there of just the winners and everyone else all dressed up nicely. The Oscars of the awards is such a great direct description of it. Yeah, it is fantastic. Okay, but it's not all about firms like teams and stuff. We do have an award for the Sole Practitioner of the Year because they are just as important as the bigger firms.
So sole practitioner is about those independent people that maybe don't have a team, they're just getting on with it themselves, delivering that excellent level of customer service using the latest tech, stuff like that. Aaron, who won Sole Practitioner of the Year award last year?
Prevail Account are pushing themselves as business advisors this time round.
Yeah, really like that. And then the fourth one we're going to cover this week is one rather close to our hearts, Digital Transformation Award. Now, a little birdie tells me someone on this podcast applied for that. So
it's about getting your big boy pants out, isn't it?
Yeah.
And taking these profession, the Oscars seriously. So we've put a little cheeky application in for this one. We're up against big competition though. So the winner last year was Assets.
that's huge.
Yeah, like
I'd also say they probably had the biggest challenge to digitalize because they're a long-standing firm. They buy a lot of old retiring firms.
Yeah,
like they've got some effort to transform and make their firms digital and their clients digital for that matter. So
they must have a full-blown team just to digitalize, right? Like that's got to be one of their pillars of what they offer.
Yeah,
they probably have a full-blown team just to apply for the Accounting Excellence Awards as well. So
yep, exactly. Yeah, they've probably got an outsourced team that they've outsourced this to. But yeah, like digital transformation though doesn't need to be that big. It could be you're leading the digital transformation in the farming sector.
Yeah, exactly.
I was having a chat over the weekend with a ex-pro footballer who's going to go into accounting and bookkeeping and just focus on accountants and on footballers, and then widen his audience gradually from there. Like we were talking about how underserved that industry are and how it can be quite complex with high earning taxes and stuff like that. But how actually there's such a long journey with those people, because when they come out of a football, which is a cruel career at the best of times, you're not going to do that until you're 60. You're going to come out at 30, 40 and go and do a business. And you've already got your accountant set up, which is quite cool. But he was on about all the technology that's not being used by accountants and bookkeepers in that space at the moment. And so, yeah, digital transformation, it could be helping transform an industry, your business, your clients. It could be all sorts. We've seen all sorts of different people win over the years. So another really good award for anyone of any size to consider.
Yeah, and especially with AI now, like that should be a big point of it, right? Like if you can find ways to bring AI into your accounting firm in any capacity, well, that's what you want to be shouting about. That's what, as an industry, we need to have, isn't it? Is more people trying to have a play around with these aspects of it, trying to find new use cases for it. I know this week my video went live on how you can reconcile accounts with AI. Like they're the sort of things that we want to be shouting more about. Like the more people we can have an opportunity about being as part of that, like as having a play around, as finding these use cases, as showing it off, the more people can understand that actually that's what the AI is there for. It's not this bit where, and you and Chris talked about this brilliantly on the last pod, right? Like the idea that it's not about AI being something we should be scared of or worried about taking jobs. It's about that embracing and having the opportunity to go through from there. So I do really strongly believe that, the digital, transformation side, let's get that focused on AI. Let's show that side of it. Let's show why we can go out there and use AI just to help us like be better and deliver a better service to our clients. Because we all love our clients. Our clients are our favorite bit. So let's find ways to embrace and help them, right?
I would be gobsmacked if any of the nominations for this award category or the winner wasn't focused on embracing AI. Because it's such a key part of the next technological step. However, as a nice little segue to move on to our next story.
Well, before you do though, Kirsty's got a shout out. I'm shouting about being shortlisted for 3 years in a row for Small Business of the Year for ICB Luca. Well done.
Fantastic.
Well done. That's what you need to do, right? Like any award. I mean, even I talk about what did I get? Transformation Award winner 2023. You've put effort into to go into these things. You've got to shout about, right? And
definitely,
rightly so.
On the website, on your social media, everything. But yeah, speaking of AI,
Yep.
we've seen a lot of AI go wrong recently. In the last week, Google's had a bit of a bad week. So, but we've also seen a lot of announcements, which is quite cool. So, on the 10th of June, I believe it is, we're expecting Apple's announcements as part of WWDC, their main software event of the year, where they're going to talk all about AI and how it's going to be working in iOS 18 and stuff.
Yep.
And to get ready for that, Microsoft had a session, had an announcement about Microsoft Copilot laptops, which look quite interesting. I know you've done quite a lot of research into them and you're excited. But also Google announced their new updates to their AI, which should make Google search more powerful. However, it's gone a little bit wrong. So, I mean, what could go wrong with AI? Well, when they asked the Google AI, how would you thicken up the tomato base on your pizza? It suggested adding glue. It also suggested that doctors recommend you smoke 4 to 6 cigarettes a day for a healthy lifestyle. So it's not had a great week. It also thinks 1912 was 77 years ago. Now, I'm not brilliant at maths without a calculator, but even I know that's not right. So yeah.
Surely though, like the glue and the cigarette issue, you can you can't say that it's okay, but you can understand where that's got it from, right? There'll be a piece of information on the news.
There's some article somewhere that it's found that in.
And this is what the big problem with AI is. It's fake news versus real news, right? Like, how does it know the difference between the two? But then again, humans get that wrong all the time as well, right? But it's just that we have an expectation that AI is going to get it right first and foremost. Right each time, every time. But where did he get this? How did he get the year thing wrong? Unless it's similar to ChatGPT-3, where it was like there was a cutoff point, wasn't there? And it didn't know anything before that. Is that the case with Gemini? I don't know.
Well, I mean, there is a conspiracy theory out there that like the 200 years of the British Empire didn't actually really happen.
Right. Okay.
It's still in around. This conspiracy theory thinks we're still in like 1820 24.
And the Earth's flat, right? That's the same.
And the Earth's flat, and so maybe that's where it's been listening to this conspiracy theory and gone, no.
Scam that.
1824 to 2024, that didn't actually happen. That didn't exist. That's just, it's all up there. It's just a glitch in the matrix. So that's why. But yeah, so it's AI is going to be great, but if we look at like AI in Sage, okay, and that chat I had with Chris, Downing, and that came out last week. If you've not seen it, check out our YouTubes and Facebooks and LinkedIn's. It's on there. The AI in Sage is going to be incredibly powerful, and it will be in QuickBooks and Xero and everyone else that releases it, if it's just focused on a small set of data, because it can't hallucinate as easily. It can't get it wrong as easily. There's less noise to distract it. Whereas when you Google something, it's got the whole flipping internet, from every idiot's social media posts to their blog posts to their YouTube videos to their every web page that's ever been written, for it to look at and go, I think this is the answer. So there's too much noise to keep it accurate, potentially. And that's what these big firms are having to work. ChatGPT, OpenAI, and Google, and everyone is having to work out is, how do we make sure we're giving the right answers, which does not include putting glue into your tomato base for your pizza.
But in fairness, though, them controversial topics like that will gain momentum. The algorithm loves them, right? Because there's comments, there's controversial, there's questions. Like they're gonna be those sort of social posts that have gone viral because people have gone, well, I'm not going to put glue in my pizza, and just them saying that or disliking or having any interaction is why that rises to the top of it, right? And that's what they've got to combat. It's there's this popular post, everyone's talking about it, and AI is not going to get the context, but AI can see it's a popular post. So if it's a popular post, surely that's right. That's
Yeah.
the logic, isn't it? And that's the problem that they're fighting. It's the us as humans, we love a bit of controversy. Like that gives us clicks, that sells newspapers, that, you know what I mean? Like that gives us the thumbnail we've always dreamed of on YouTube, you know. That's the problem it's fighting.
The risk is, though, that those that are hesitant or not convinced by AI yet, or in the next level of technology, will then go, well, if it thinks you should put glue in your tomato base for your pizza, then I can't trust it with my accounts and bookkeeping software.
Or
But
worse,
actually, that's a
they
very
just do that.
different situation.
They
Or
just
worse, they
follow
go,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like Donald Trump suggesting you drink bleach to help tackle COVID. Like, you know, worst case scenario, you're a bit of an idiot and you go and do it. Slightly less worst case scenario is that you see that and go, well, because of that, I'm not going to use Sage Copilot, Intuit Assist, etc. Whereas actually what we need to be aware of, and we need to keep pushing to people, is Google, OpenAI, Bing, all of those are tackling a much different problem compared to Intuit Assist, Copilot at Sage, etc., because they've got really refined, focused data. So their chance of hallucinating is far, far slimmer. So, and that because they've got such a small batch of data, actually, it's a lot easier for them to make sure that they're getting the right results.
Yeah, 100%. And I saw that firsthand, right? Because when I've been on this show and I've said that Microsoft Copilot was a waste of money, it's not going to be able to do anything, blah 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 blah. And then a week later, I realized I was using the wrong Copilot, because there's a Copilot. Microsoft Copilot for Finance is a whole separate language model, whole separate app you have to install and integrate and all that sort of stuff, right? But as soon as I enabled that, that's when the penny dropped, and that's when I was going, actually, there's a real use case here, and this is really good. And actually, you know, look at the video, like it did that reconciliation in seconds, right? And that's where what we need to get to, isn't it? Like, we need to remember, like you've said well there, like there is going to be different language models for us to use. Like anything, like we've got to find the right tool for the job. We've got to keep that in mind. It's not this isn't a Swiss Army knife where every tool, like everything, we can't ask, I won't say the word, but the S word from Apple now and say, do me a reconciliation, because it's not designed for that. It never was. I mean, it's terrible anyway, right? Like it's never going to be able to do that. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the idea of finding the right tools for the job. And I feel like that's what digital transformation awards, you know, that's what the people going for those awards, that's what we should be priding ourselves on, right? Like trying to find the right digital tool for the right digital job. And then that's the role of the digital transformers out there, is to then shout about it. Right, I found this tool that does this job, let's go and talk about it in best as possible. And I think we've got to be more realistic that, haven't we, going forward?
Definitely. As I say, my fear is just those that are slightly hesitant are going to hear these stories and go, "Oh well, I can't trust it at all." Whereas actually, it's completely not the case. Okay, so Aaron, Mr. Mac, Mr. Apple himself, the man who shuns people for using an Android phone. I hear you've been flirting with Microsoft, and they've caught your eye slightly with these Microsoft Copilot laptops.
Yeah.
Tell us more. What's impressed you?
So put the press to put it out there as to why. I have a firm that, against my best wishes, have people who don't get on with Macs. Like they're a firm who, some of them will use Microsoft products and they'll use Windows, and they're Windows through and through. So you kind of got to keep on top of both, right? Like if a new team member came tomorrow and wanted a Mac, I know exactly which model to get them and I could have it ordered in seconds. When it comes to thinking about what's right in terms of the Windows side, it's always been a bit hit and miss about which is the right product for them and everything else. And it's a minefield, isn't it? Yeah. But for anyone who has, or they themselves, or are looking to go into the world of Windows, or looking to update their Windows laptops or Windows machines, I think these new Copilot plus PC options are absolutely going to be the ones to go for. So a little history into what happened in the world of Apple. Apple was using Intel chips for a long time. They were happy enough, whatever, they were doing what they need to do. And then Apple designed their own chip called the M1. And the idea of the M1 is it's very much the same sort of architecture you have finding your mobile phone and your iPads. And they took that technology of being fast but efficient and long battery life and all that sort of stuff, didn't get very hot. Took that concept and put it into your laptop. And me and Jan's both said since day one that the first M1 equipped machine was probably the biggest innovation we've had in laptops for decades, right? Like it was just ridiculous. You went from this laptop where you have to keep plugged into a wall, and there's all those memes about sat at a wall trying to get your work done as you plugged in, to all day battery life like that. Yeah. And there was power behind it. There's efficiencies. I mean, the laptop you have now is just insane, right? Like it's got, it's like the power is just ridiculous, right? Yet you can have an all day battery life with it at the same time, can't you?
I unplugged mine on Friday afternoon, took it into the house, did a full edit of a video, re-edited that video, scheduled some posts, etc. Did some booked my seats for my next holiday on the plane. I did all sorts on it, and I plugged it back in this morning, and it still had over 85% of its battery life. And it's like I'd have been lucky to have got a fraction of that work done on a Windows device a few years ago.
Yeah, and that's because traditionally those Windows or even the Intel devices of Mac, like they drain power, they get really hot, they're firmly throttled, all this sort of stuff. So Mac for the last 4 years has it been that they've led the world in terms of, right, this is what your internals of a computer should look like. It's this M1 chip. It's amazing. They've gone from M1 to M2 to M3 now to M4. So they've been leading the way, and basically Windows have always been on the back step from that. But now they've partnered with Qualcomm and they've created a similar sort of chip, so very similar in terms of the way that it's built, but for Windows. And what that means is now you have that power, that efficiency, that all-day battery life, and they've made it so it's very much ready for the AI world. So there's like a dedicated part of the chip that only deals with AI and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, if you don't have or if you have the opportunity, go and look at Copilot plus PC's computer lineup. I think they're the ones. If you've got a Windows PC, they're the ones that you need to be looking to upgrade to when you're ready to upgrade. You're going to get power, you're going to get efficiency. What I really like about this, and I saw this in real life when I went to the e-store. So I had a right issue getting my iPad to go over to an eSIM. So much so I had to go in store, and I was sat in the store, and I was in there for 45 minutes. It was such a palaver getting this all set up. What I did notice is frontline, to the people on the front line, what they're using is these Surface PCs, but they've always got them tethered, plugged in. So that's what they need to use because it's the most convenient. It's, if anyone's not seen a Surface PC, it's literally an iPad, but with Windows on it, and it's that sort of mentality. But if they had these new Copilot ones, they wouldn't need to be plugged in. They'd have unlimited range to be able to walk around, all sorts of proper thing. And I think if I didn't have this iPad, I would seriously be considering that as my, iPad-esque solution.
What's the Copilot aspect to it then? Because it sounds like they've just launched MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, but with a Windows sticker. But there must be a reason it's called Copilot. So
yeah, so
Copilot aspect
directly into the operating system is Copilot from day one. So you sat there, front and center. It's got access to it, and as I said, like the chip wise has a whole dedicated aspect of it to running algorithms and machine learning and all that sort of stuff that built directly into the chip. So that's what they're going for, and I think a bit of it's branding because Copilot's kind of the new AI aspect to it. So there's a bit of that to it, but the idea that the chip itself is running to deliver that. I know there's controversy around it, but there's this new replay feature where you can recall anything that's happened, and it's all built on chip and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think if we're excited for what Apple's going to do at the next WWDC in a couple of weeks' time, I feel like this is their equivalent to it, and this is what they've built to go for it. So if you are a Windows user, have a look at these new Surface laptops, the Copilot ones. I think they're the ones you want to be giving to your staff. I know they're not going to be cheap, but they're definitely the ones that you're going to get a better experience because they're going to have access to AI at a click of a button.
Yeah, just in regards to the controversial part, let me explain that a bit more. So basically, Copilot's built into your laptop. It's an AI tool. It's Microsoft's AI tool, but so it can be even more powerful. Basically, what Copilot's going to be doing is taking a screenshot every couple of seconds of what you're doing, so that it can then recall when you say, "Oh, what was that trial balance bottom line on that I was looking at for that client?" It will go through its screenshots to go, "That's what it was." Now, the data security side of that is, do you want it to be storing and capturing that information when you're looking in QuickBooks Xero or Sage at that data and then storing it? They've told us it's being stored on device, but yeah, like there's a potential security issue. So you need to have a think about your data protection policy on your own internal processes and systems. Now, we're told after that kind of controversy and people going, "Whoa, hang on a minute, what about privacy? You know, if I'm Googling something I shouldn't be Googling, do I want it screenshotting that?" You know, what they have said is, "Oh, well, you can have like you have it with your internet browser, you can go into incognito or private browser mode, and it won't record any of that stuff. And you can tell it, oh, when I'm on this website, don't look at it. Don't screenshot when I'm on QuickBooks because I don't want you keeping that data." So yeah, that it's just something to be aware of if you're going to be using AI that's capturing client data. In effect, you do need to bear in mind your data privacy protection policy stuff. Again, though, and a nice little plug to what's coming up this week. The ICO have got some absolutely fantastic content on this. And I can't remember if it's out yet or it's coming soon, but the ICO is actually releasing a free tool on their website where you can answer a series of questions and it will generate a data protection policy free of charge for you.
Oh, wow.
So we speak about that in the ICO podcast pit stop that I did at Fab, and that's coming out tomorrow. So if you want to have a listen about how ICO is working with accountants and bookkeepers, what support they've got out there, and where they're going with it, definitely worth listening to that tomorrow morning when that goes live. But yeah, so we are coming up on time. Aaron, what have you got coming up this week?
We've got a busy week, and you've got even more busy week, haven't we? So you talked about webinars.
Yep.
I feel like you're doing like more webinars than a webinar person would do. I've not got an analogy for that one. But yeah, we've got some. I'll let you talk about your webinars are coming up, but do come and join us for QuickBooks Labs on Wednesday. QuickBooks has released 2 new SKUs. So we've got Ledger and we've got Solopreneur to look through. Solopreneur is very controversial, and Ledger had a rocky start, but I think it's going to be okay. So yeah, we've got some controversial. I know where someone on the call has a very controversial view on Ledger, being a bit late to the party, but we'll let him rant about that on the show itself. So yeah, please join us Wednesday at 4:30. We're going live, and then it's going to be on your podcast solutions of choice for you to go for. So yeah, but go on, we've got what we're over time now, but yeah, probably be easier telling us what webinars you're not doing this week. Go for it, Johann.
Okay, so on Wednesday morning, Wednesday's going to be a long day for me. I'm going to be stood in front of this camera a lot. Wednesday morning, I am doing a webinar for Client Engager and the Six-Figure Bookkeepers, where we are looking at the insights coming from the Six-Figure Bookkeeper pricing report. And then we're going to take that insight and show you how having pricing software such as Client Engager helps give you confidence in your pricing and makes it quick and efficient. Add to that we are going to have the first look in that session of the catch-up fee tool that Client Engager has been building for the last 5 days. Like literally, this was brainstormed on Wednesday last week, and it's going to go live within the next 2 weeks. So I will be demonstrating that tool to everyone on the webinar in the morning. And there's over 500 people signed up for that webinar now, which is phenomenal. follow that, I am then doing our weekly live session on Zoom for all the Client Engager users, showing them again the catch-up fee and going into more detail with that and answering all their questions. Again, that's now got 50 to 60 people every week tuning in for that catch-up, so that's fantastic. And of course, I'll be doing the QuickBooks Labs on Wednesday as well. So busy day. But I'm excited for it and I'm looking forward to it.
So when's your sponsorship with Vocal Zones coming live?
I know, right? Between Vocal Zones and Zoom, like, I spend my life on both of them. But yeah, so yeah, that's a busy week coming up. Also, there's a webinar coming up on the 19th of June with Free Agent, which I'm speaking on, where we're talking about the latest tech stack and how to build a tech stack for your firm. So it'll be myself, Tony from Free Agent, and 2 accountants and bookkeepers that are Free Agent practice users, talking about how they build their tech stacks, which will be good as well.
Very nice. Looking forward to him. Nice.
The diary is full.
Yeah, 100%. But that's what you want, right? And that's what we tell people who come on the podcast. It's all about personal branding and pushing forward. So well done. Before we go, though, we should really say hello to everybody who have been chatting and we've ignored them. Apologies for this one. Paul says, sounds like it's drawing info from Reddit and Wikipedia. Exactly. That's where this, especially Reddit. I mean, you don't want to. There should be a ban. Like there should be a tool to ban Reddit, right? Like from AI. Should there be categorizing the AI word for software? I can't read that because I put it in the thing. That or contribute towards industry and contribute towards accounting excellence, but the software can only be a certain size under 25 employees. I completely agree. I think that's where we've said this for a while, right? Like there should be categories for software, should be category for more social media aspects of it. It is definitely something that I think should be considered. I get that there's going to be a costing issue, like they've got to find it. So who's going to sponsor a software one that they could potentially win because it'd be controversial? And that's the issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, but let's hope they do, because nothing would give us more pleasure than be able to talk about some software ones, because that's where the juicy come in, right? Like we get to like think about the ICB awards. How much juicy bits did we get out of that? Because controversially, someone won something that they shouldn't have done, but that's for me.
In our opinion.
In our opinion, yeah. In our opinion. But AI agreed with us. Sam's great timing. My HP laptop is 4 years old and due for great. Do it. Have a look at the Copilot ones. Go get yourself one of them. Yes, a little bit more expensive, but they're well worth it. And you'll get so much more out of them. Like we've said, the M1 MacBooks are amazing. Wonder if they'll give apps the ability to control Copilot screenshot like mobiles, preventing screenshot when in QuickBooks app. Yeah, potentially that could be a solution. That does sound like everyone. But it's browser based, isn't it? That's the problem. It's really difficult to do DRM on browser.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
I think it was more of a case of if I'm on this website, instead of the website telling Copilot you can't take pictures of this, you tell Copilot you can't take pictures of this. So that is what they're doing.
Yeah, and I suppose it does work for, like, if you ever try and screen record YouTube or Now TV or anything like that, it comes up as blank, doesn't it? Because there's technology there that could help. Wonderful, brilliant. I think that's it. I think that's all the comments done for today.
Wonderful. Yep. Okay, well, thank you very much to everyone that's joined us on a bank holiday Monday. What better way to start a bank holiday Monday than tuning into Aaron and myself talking about all the good stuff that we've been talking about today. I mean, what a variety, from financial results to pricing gone wrong, through to excellent accounting excellence awards, AI gone wrong, and then Microsoft Copilot being the future of Microsoft's new laptop range. So yeah, I feel that's a very high value and insightful podcast there for everybody. So hopefully everyone has a fantastic week. We will see you all this time next week, 8:30 next week. As always, we will be live, bringing you the latest news and tips for the accounting and bookkeeping industry. Aaron, anything you want to plug before you go?
No, just make sure you come and see the QuickBooks Labs, and make sure you go watch Johann at the Six Figure podcast. Although, is there even space left? Can people even sign up?
So people can still sign up and they'll get the link. We've got a capacity of 500 people turning up, so I would imagine most people that want to get in will get in. But then everyone will get a recording of it anyway.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
yeah,
That makes
carry
sense.
on. Keep signing up, people.
And don't forget, get yourself Accountant Excellence Awards. Get yourself signed up for the what you call it.
Definitely.
It's
Have a
definitely
look
worth.
through. Start getting your nominations in. They're free of charge. Nothing lost by doing it.
Definitely, 100%. All right, people. Thank you very much. We will see you all next week. Bye for
See
now.
you next week, folks. Bye bye.